Thanks so much for visiting Tina Butty on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome to Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today's episode, since it's so close to Halloween, we're going to be talking about our favourite thing to do on Halloween, which is go trick-or-treating.
Eat candy.
And eat candy, yes. People, if they could just sit at home and get candy, that would be fine, I think. The candy is the big draw of Halloween, what everybody just buys. I mean, over here, especially Halloween, is such a big deal that the aisle is filled with, huge bags of candy.
Yeah.
It's like all the big candy companies like Hershey and, Kraft, I guess, is another big one over here. Is it Nestle? Nestle is a big one over here. I think it's mainly Hershey, though. They come out with, the massive bags of, tiny, fun-sized chocolate, so you can just, hand it out on Halloween and stuff. In Britain, it's not so much of a big deal.
Do you guys even have fun-sized candy bars in Britain?
Yeah, we do.
What do you do with them?
Christmas time.
You have them on Christmas?
And you usually put them in stocking and stuff like that. And also, it's just, some people just, if you can believe it, some people just want that size of a candy bar.
Yeah. I know. I mean, you asked me what the other big company besides Hershey is, and I'm just like, I really don't know.
Yeah, because I don't really know over
here.
Connoisseur,
I'm
I consider myself a little bit of a candy connoisseur. I know most of the British brands and stuff, and I'm going to probably roll through a few of them in this episode. But yeah, our fun-sized things like Milky Ways, which are different to the Milky Ways over here, because they're more like a Mars bar over here.
Right.
Milky Ways, you can get fun-sized dairy milk bars, but really the big draw around this time of year, Christmas time especially, is getting tins of Cadbury Heroes and Celebrations.
Yeah.
And they're tiny, little almost bite-size, not even a bite-size candy,
Yeah.
And they're all individually wrapped. So you'll get them in your Halloween trick-or-treat bucket,
I don't know when, we should have looked this up maybe, but I don't know when fun-sized candy bars came out over
how
here.
exactly are they fun size?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's it's like someone's
it's
like,
smaller,
oh, it's
not
small.
fun.
It's smaller, it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun size. It's like, no,
That
fun
makes
size
it
is
less
massive.
fun.
Yeah, that makes it less fun. When did fun size become?
I seem to think they came out when I was a kid, because
Yeah, maybe over. Yeah, when did fun size?
Yeah, when did fun-sized candy come out? Because I seem to remember.
1968,
Oh,
apparently.
really?
This is what Google is telling us.
So Google says fun-sized candy bars were made available in America in 1968, and they were Snickers, Milky Way, and then later on Three Musketeers and M&M's. Interesting. I don't know, because when I was really little, I remember that the candies you would get would be like suckers, gum, little things that already came small, oh god, what are they called? These little gumdrops. I can't remember what. Dots, that's what they're called. They would come in a box like that. Milk duds, things that you didn't generally get in a candy bar size anyway. They either just came in the little, in quotes, fun size, or
fun size, yeah.
Or you could get a huge box of them at the movie theater or something,
Oh, the movie theater candy. That's another thing that's not really a thing in Britain. Is getting them in little boxes and stuff. I think they might sell them at the cinema itself in Britain, but if you go to a shop you go to Dollar Tree and they've got an aisle full of it and you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
And it's much cheaper. No, I don't think you can. Don't think you can do that. I mean, things might have changed in the last few years, but I don't think you can. Mars, that's the other big company over here, Mars, and they apparently trademarked fun size.
Yeah, it says fun size on the package.
Yeah, and apparently so no other company could do it, you know.
Yeah, okay, so since trick-or-treating and stuff is not as big, like, nationwide in Britain as it is over here, why don't we start off with British candies that you might get when you're trick-or-treating?
I haven't been trick-or-treating, I mean, in Britain. When I was a kid, I went trick-or-treating once. Once or twice, or from what I can remember. I mean, it's not a big deal, Halloween. I remember bonfire, or it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't when I was a kid anyway. I mean, it's kind of like it kind of ebbs and flows. It still isn't, I don't think, that big of a deal.
Let us know if you are a listener in Britain and you have kids or you hand out candy on Halloween. Let us know if it has become a bigger deal in Britain now than Dominic remembers it when he was a kid, or if it's like about the same as it's always been, you know, just some people do it and some people don't, because I am curious.
Because I'm going back 30 years ago now when I first went trick-or-treating. This was about 1989.
Yeah.
Which is 30 years, God. And
shh, we're not supposed to tell them how old we are.
Yes, we're young and beautiful. We're teenagers. It was I went trick-or-treating in Scotland with my cousins, and you know I dressed up in like the mask and everything, you know, and I can't remember if I was like a evil wizard or something, an ugly monster or whatever, because I mean that's kind of thing. It's like anything goes over here. You can dress up as whatever you want. You can dress up as Thomas the Tank if you wanted to, you know. It's like that kind of thing. But I do remember getting chocolate and sweets and stuff like that, but we didn't do it for that long. What I do remember, though, I mean, this probably could go into the next episode. What I do remember, though, of trick-or-treating is just kind of like, you know, we just got trick-or-treat and that was it. I mean, kids did it. I mean, we did get trick-or-treated a couple of times, you know, on Halloween, but very, very not really, you know.
Yeah, but so what kind... Can you remember what the kinds of candies that you were given,
it was fun size. But it was like stuff like Cadbury Heroes, stuff from the Cadbury Heroes tin, which would be like a fun size dairy milk bar, or a fudge bar, a Crunchy, a Curly Whirly, or a Chomp, Freddo, chocolate buttons, Whisper, Galaxy Ripple, Minstrels. You know, Bounty and Milky Way Mars, you know, Mars Bar and Smarties and stuff like that. You know, that's what it would have been.
British Smarties are like M&Ms, by the way.
British Smarties are basically like M&Ms. And also we'd get M&Ms too, because M&Ms are a big thing. We have all the biggest names in candy over here, I think, and we have our own as well on top of that. So, you know, we've got like Snickers, we've got Starburst, we've got Frutella, you know, well, Frutella's a thing in Britain. Maltesers was another one I used to get. The Haribo Tang Fastics and Star Mix were a big draw for like sweets things. But I used to like getting the penny chews, which were kind of like blackjacks or fruit salads. I never liked blackjacks because they were licorice. Fruit salad and refreshers, which are kind of like a bigger version of the Smarties over here. What you have guys called Smarties. There's like fizzy sweets. Jelly Babies again was another one, and wine gums. And I remember getting a huge bag of Flumps one year.
Which are what?
Which are fluffy mallow twists.
Okay.
They're just like soft, fluffy.
Someone gave you a huge bag of things.
Yeah, it was just like a huge bag, and they just handed it in, you know, into the bucket. That was when I was like, I don't know, I was like maybe 8. Maybe I went trick or treating, but I never really dressed up, so you know, I didn't expect to get anything, you know. Some people don't, and I've seen some people just walking around going trick or treat, and they're like 16, you know.
Yeah, I mean, people over here don't either.
Singers as well.
I don't really want to give them candy, to be honest. Whenever they don't, I mean, again, this should be probably saved for the next time's podcast. But I don't generally want to give them candy. It's like, I don't care how old you are. As long as you dress up, I'll give you candy if you're 45, you know.
Yeah,
it's like,
if you look good, then, you know, if you dressed up, you've made the effort. So, you know, you deserve a fun-sized candy bar.
But if you're like 10 years old and you come to the door and you don't have a costume on, I'm just like, what are you doing? I might as well just be giving you candy like in the street, like just some kind of, you're just
But
begging for candy for.
Over here, it's the worst, because I mean, when I got over here, it's like Halloween's such a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like I never used to go out and buy a huge bucket of candy to give out to kids when I lived in Britain, you know? It was like, I don't know who many, maybe people did, but over here, it's like, I was reading somewhere, it's like, yeah, people are more likely to buy the candy and then eat it themselves rather than give it out on Halloween,
Over
you know?
here, you mean?
No, in Britain.
Oh.
Over here, it's like, I think one of the first years I was here, we bought that huge big bag of candy and dumped it into the, we bought like several huge bags of candy and dumped it into the thing, and we only got like 2 trick-or-treaters, so we still had a full bucket of candy, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna eat all this, aren't we,
So are there any other, there's not really any like Halloween-centric candy in Britain, though, is there?
I mean, there's stuff like that comes out, like, for example, McVitie's devilish tea cakes. They're not really candy, but they're kind of like a Tunnocks tea cake with marshmallow and biscuit.
Okay.
And they come out around Halloween. There's also Mr. Kipling's chocolate and slime slices, which are just kind of like the regular slices with chocolate on top, but I think it's like green, and I think there's like a layer of like food colored custard or whatever.
So more like party kind of
foods.
foods.
Halloween parties are pretty big in Britain. It's like any excuse to get together and get drunk, I think, is the is the thing. Also, Halloween fiendish French fancies, which are orange cream and stuff. Because the thing is, with like pumpkin, the Halloween inspired, the orange is like pumpkin over here, isn't it? But in Britain, it's like pumpkin's not a very big flavor.
Well,
so
what do you mean? No, you don't really get any kind of candy in America that's flavored like pumpkin, funnily enough. We did see, I'll mention it in a minute. We did see something recently, but when I was a kid, no. I don't remember anything that was pumpkin flavored, actually.
We had those pumpkin cookies the other night. They were kind of pumpkin flavored.
Yeah, I was talking candy,
Well,
though.
candy. But yeah, that's what we used to have, is like, I remember getting Freddos and stuff like that, which Freddos are like a chocolate frog with caramel in it.
So then, again, this should probably go into the next podcast, but if you guys don't do trick-or-treating, then you do the parties more. You don't even have, like, a bowl of candy at the party? You wouldn't have,
Yeah, I guess we would, yeah, but I mean, it'd be more other things as well. Snack cakes and, other stuff. And, with chocolate and stuff, it's just all the same, because we're very big on chocolate in Britain.
Yeah.
Chocolate and sweets are, like, I think, even bigger than America. Funnily enough, like there's candy shops and stuff over here, but pick and mix candy is big. We might, I think maybe one year I got like cola bottles and stuff like that, like pick and mix candy in the bucket and stuff, and like bonbons and those candy apple cables or sour bats.
Oh yeah.
Like stuff like that. And it was just that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, really, that's, but usually it'd be like fun-size Snickers, fun-size Milky Way, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, because Halloween trick-or-treating and stuff, I don't really remember it too well going on it every year. I never did it every year. Like, kids over here might remember doing it every year and dressing up and getting so much candy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember not doing it more than doing it. I remember going to parties, Halloween parties, like school parties, really, that were organized by my school. So, talk more about that later on. But, in the traditions and stuff. But yeah, really, Halloween is, I mean, it's only recently started coming up because of the U.S. commercialism and stuff. The internet, really, yeah. I suppose,
I mean, kids in Britain, I'm sure, see other kids talking about Halloween candy and trick-or-treating and stuff on, like, YouTube, for example. And they're just like, oh, come on, I want to do that, bugging their parents and stuff, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's kids in Britain and parents in Britain who love to do it, who are, like, obsessed with it. And they live in an area where there's other kids and who do it. And it's like, it's fun. I mean, I lived in an area in England that, you know, they did that a lot. And up in Scotland, I think it might be a bigger deal than it is down in England. Halloween and everything, you know. Because in England, I was just kind of like, oh, you know, it's Halloween. You know, people let off fireworks because Halloween is so close to another day for Britain, which we'll talk about in another podcast. I think we've talked about it before, but yeah, you know.
Okay, so in America,
what do they do in America?
Well,
I think we know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do know now because you've been here for a while. It's not so much actually that you get like Halloween themed candy in your trick or treat.
That's the same in Britain.
Basket.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain candies like candy corn, for example. Candy
corn, yeah, it's orange and
that's
yellow.
A Halloween specific candy. You can find it year round in some places, but you only really eat that or see it like all over the place at Halloween. But you don't really get it in your trick or treat basket.
I don't know.
Bucket, whatever.
I mean, it's like it's basically hardened corn syrup candy corn, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
not a thing in Britain at all. Still to this day, I don't think they're a thing.
I like them. They're definitely like love it or hate it. A lot of people hate them, but I like them. They're so for those of you in Britain or listening elsewhere in the world who don't know, candy corns are these little, I don't know,
pieces of.
They're meant to look like a corn kernel on the end. They're yellow on the end, on the top part, and then orange in the middle, and then they have a little white tip. They're sort of like a long triangle shaped candy.
Somebody actually stacked them up to look like a corn on the cob.
Oh, yeah.
And someone said, oh, I was today years old when I found out you could do this with candy corn. Everybody's like, oh, what? And it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, the end of it looks like a corn kernel.
A corn kernel. Yeah. But it's like, it tastes just kind of like sugar.
Some people think it tastes like... Some people think it has like honey in it.
Honey?
Yeah.
I didn't get it. When I first had it over here, I was like, oh, I'm probably going to like this because I like candy. No. I didn't like it at all. I was like, that is pretty awful, actually. I thought that was, you know.
A lot of people think it tastes like the middle part of the payday, like the nougat part of the payday. If you remove all the peanuts off of it, that it tastes like a payday. I don't know.
I don't think so.
To me, they're just good.
Payday is like caramel.
Yeah.
It does not taste like caramel to me at all.
Okay, so candy corn is...
It's usually made from a mixture of sugar, corn syrup, and confectioner's wax, artificial colouring, and binders.
Delicious.
Yes. Artificially flavoured with other natural flavours.
Yeah. My mom loves candy corn. I mean, we're not saying this is healthy for you.
She likes Hershey's milk chocolate. She's a crazy person. Yeah, remember she's like, I like Hershey's. Oh. It's like, oh no.
We're not saying this is good for you, but it tastes good to me. And, you know, it's not something you want to eat all the time, obviously. They do make it also in, like, little pumpkin shapes. You can get it in different shapes because essentially...
I've only seen it in, like, the cord kernel
Oh, no,
shapes.
they make little orange pumpkins with, like, a little green top. Yeah, and they're...
Kind of like a peep.
And they put them
at Easter.
Yeah, and I mean, they put them in a bag at Halloween also. But, so yeah, that's a super popular Halloween specific candy. For years, Reese's was also, I think, highly associated with Halloween. But I mean, people eat Reese's peanut butter cups all year round too, obviously. And they now make Reese's like Christmas tree shaped and stuff, but because the packaging is sort of orange and black, it's always been
associated with Halloween. Yeah.
Because for some reason, I don't know why we like color code holidays. Like Halloween is orange and black, Christmas is red and green. Easter's
It's
like
commercial.
pastel. Yeah, it is. It is.
And the thing
It's
is, over here, it's like if you go into a shop after Halloween, they'll immediately start doing Thanksgiving stuff.
Oh yeah.
Thanksgiving, then immediately, as soon as Thanksgiving ends, it's Christmas. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's very commercial over here. That's why I think it's kind of been shunned in the UK a little bit because, oh yeah, someone's just trying to make a buck. You know,
Yeah.
this is just all crap for like a day. You know, same with Christmas. I mean, a lot of people go bar humbug to Christmas because it's been commercialized too much now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if it's an excuse to eat candy. I'm there, man.
I think
there.
I think Halloween and Christmas are both very magical, and it's just what you make of it. Basically, if you want to go all in for the commercial aspects of it, then go for it.
Yeah,
if you want to like
get into it, that's fine. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not getting onto people for it, but it's just kind of like that's probably why a lot of people just go, bleh, don't want to do it. You know.
Yeah. Another candy that I really associate with Halloween are the little Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Roll,
Yeah.
which I couldn't get into for the longest time. I'm
Oh,
kind
they're
of
so good.
I'm kind of getting into it, but it's so weird because
It's Tootsie Roll is chocolate flavored taffy, basically.
yes, it's chocolate flavored taffy.
Yeah.
That's kind of like if they made like a chocolate Wham bar, which is the same sort of thing. It's the same sort of substance. Like Wham bars are like taffy, kind of like nougaty. It's like chocolate flavored nougat to me.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, no.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Nougat should be kind of like a nut vanilla or strawberry or, you know, green apple or some fruity flavor, not chocolate.
Oh yeah.
I'm very kind of like, you know.
No, Tootsie Rolls are one of my favorite Halloween candies. I mean, other than that, you'll have fun size Butterfingers, fun size Snickers.
Butterfingers now. I thought they were weird when I started eating them, but now I'm kind of into them.
You don't do Butterfingers in Britain?
No.
Okay, so Butterfingers.
Reese's are a thing in Britain. I started seeing them just before I left.
So Butterfingers inside are like it's a peanut butter. We have a lot of
crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah, we have a lot of chocolate and peanut butter candies in America because peanuts are one of our biggest crops.
Yeah, I mean, 2 presidents, as we know now, were peanut farmers. Peanuts and corn.
Yeah,
that's your big things over here.
He's referring to an Instagram story that we recently did about the Nutter Butter cereal. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, go do that because we put up little fun stories every once in a while.
They do little Nutter Butter things, don't they? Have you ever had a Nutter Butter in the Halloween candy?
What? Yeah, Dominic's looked this list up, and it's a bit crazy because it's showing Nutter Butters as a Halloween treat. And no, I don't remember ever getting any Nutter Butters in my Halloween basket.
How could you not get that in your Halloween basket?
I mean, I don't know why I'm calling it a basket, first of all.
Well, it's a little
like
basket.
A little Easter basket is what I'm thinking.
Well, it's like a bucket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a bucket or
a bucket of candy.
Yeah.
Yum, yum,
a pail,
yum.
A bag. You know, some people. Well, this should go in that. This should go in
Jack
the
and Jill
next one also. But some people use pillowcases to go trick or treating with.
Oh my, yes. I mean, and it's really sad because sometimes they get a pillowcase full of candy. I've seen kids like dragging it down the road, you know, with their pillowcases, you know, dragging it on the thing. Or they've got like a little wagon and they've got like 2 whole pillowcases stuffed with candy. And I'm just like, how many houses did they have to hit to get that? You know, where have they been?
So obviously the candy in America that you want when you're a kid are the fun size chocolate bars. Actually, some people's houses, and this should probably go in the next podcast too, but some people's houses we would go to would give out the full size chocolate bars.
Yeah.
And we just love those people.
Yeah, those people were great because I seem to remember that was a thing in Britain too. You know, if you got a fun size candy bar or something like that, it was just like, nah. But if you got like the full size Mars bar or the full size Galaxy chocolate or the full size Flake or whatever, or Dairy Milk or something, it was like, yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
These people know what they're talking about. You know, they don't mess around with them.
Yeah.
You know, they can afford all that, you know.
But recently we were having a discussion about Halloween candy and candies that we didn't like getting in our trick or treat bags or whatever. And when I was a kid, I don't know if people still give them out, but they had these peanut butter taffies, and they were in just like a little ball of just like regular kind of saltwater taffy shape, you know, and it was in like wax paper and twisted on either end, and it would be in either black or orange wax paper. And you saw those and you were just like, oh, wah, wah, as a kid, you know, because it's not that they were
like
bad.
Jawbreakers were another one that people were like, wah, wah, about, you know.
Yeah, I also didn't like to get the little dots. I mentioned them before, the gum, which are like gumdrops, but they were really hard.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they came in a little
Midget
box.
gems, I think we called them.
I didn't care for
Midget
those.
gems.
There were another one that were like peanut butter logs, and they were like a little flaky, kind of like the inside of a Butterfinger, like a little rectangle like that, but they were like white with brown stripes, or like cream color with brown stripes, and in a clear plastic wrap. And I was just like, ugh. Flavored Tootsie Rolls they would give out, like fruity flavored Tootsie Rolls. I was not a fan of those.
Those are the kind of Tootsie Rolls I'd like the green apple or whatever, the strawberry flavored Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
Not the chocolate flavored thing. It's just like, that's a bit weird.
Sometimes people would buy, you know, you could go to someone's house and you knew exactly where they're... Well, yeah, I mean, if you went to the same places every year, you knew what kind of stuff you were going to get, which houses to avoid if you needed to. But some people, because in America, we sell these huge bags of candy for if you're going to pass out candy to trick-or-treaters, yeah.
But it's like, how do they not resist the temptation to eat all that themselves? Imagine...
Well, there are people like me who don't really care about candy. They could have it sitting there forever.
What? It's just kind of like, you know... If I couldn't resist the temptation, you know, maybe like if I was doing that over here.
Now, if it was a bowl of cookies, no, they wouldn't last in front of me. But candy, you know.
But you know, if I bought one of those huge, like, I don't know how big they are, like a 2-pound bags of candy with all the individual ones in.
Yeah.
It's like dump one in a thing and just keep one for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, oh, you know, you just couldn't resist. I mean, in Britain, people can't resist chocolate and candy and stuff, so it's kind of like, you know, people go trick-or-treating, sorry, we ate it all, you know? We have nothing to give you.
But anyway, you would go to some people's houses, and you could tell by what they gave you that they bought the big bag of, like, discounted candy, and it would be, like, generic candies that were just, like, some hard candies, some lollipops, some cheap chocolate.
Lollipops, yeah.
Some cheap chocolate, you know, it was just like, oh, God, that stuff was just terrible. Because they would do...
Rolos were another one that I used to get a lot of in candy. Rolos? You get Rolos?
Oh, yeah, no. They don't really make those in fun size.
Oh, well, you know, yeah.
I don't remember them anyway. Yeah, I love Rolos, but yeah, I don't remember them in my trick-or-treat candy. But they have like the bags of name brand candies, and then they have for people who can't afford loads of name brand candies but still want to have plenty of candy for trick-or-treaters, like a generic or cheaper version, and that candy is just not good. It's just like, please just don't give out candy to trick on Halloween rather than buy that stuff. It's just cheap, generic. It doesn't taste good. Because and I get it. It's expensive, you know, but you don't have to pass out candy. You know, you can just not. you can just not participate. Yeah.
Not participate. Yeah. Some people really go overboard on here going out trick or treating, because it's just so funny, really. You know how people so into it. So people, you know, so into it people get over here. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, Jolly Ranchers are another thing I can remember getting. Yeah. And it's not that they were bad, but they were just boring, you know. I preferred to get Skittles.
Yeah, if you got boiled
Snickers.
Sweets and you think, you know, you've gone to an old person's house. There's a lot of old people in Britain, so, you know, they'd hand out boiled sweets.
Blow Pops. I loved that. Was one of my favorite things getting in my trick-or-treat candy. Any kind of blow pop, basically, except for... And I was never a big fan of grape flavored candies, though. So if I got a lot of, like... grape Jolly Ranchers, grape.
Nobody liked the blackcurrant flavor in Britain, but everybody loved Ribena, so, but all our purple candy, black candy, well, apart from licorice and all that, it's usually blackcurrant flavor, whereas over here it's grape, and both of the flavors are just kind of like, but I have been craving blackcurrant candy, funnily enough, since I've had to eat grape Starburst or whatever, because grape isn't such a great flavor for candy, I don't think.
Yeah, I was never a fan, or watermelon flavored candies.
Those, funnily enough, I don't really care. I don't care for watermelon at all, but I will eat watermelon candy.
Yeah.
Strange, probably because it's got sugar in it.
Let us know. Tweet us or tell us on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you so choose what your favorite candies to get when you went trick-or-treating were, or which candies you really hated and you would trade with a sibling or someone at school, or maybe even just give them to your parents or something, because parents are always excited when you come home with your trick-or-treat basket, because they're just like, oh, let me check this for like
see what you
razors, and let me check it and see if it's been
tampered with.
Tampered with. There you go. And they just take out handfuls of candy for themselves. It's just like, no, I did the work. But there were always some candies that you didn't like, and you were just like, yeah, you can have all those because
It's like my favorites would be if I could go to a trick or treat in Britain now, and someone was handing out full-size double-deckers, full-size toffee crisps, full-size any chocolate bar, really. I mean, there's no bad ones in the UK, really, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, those are my favorites, double-decker and toffee crisp. And
yeah, I mean, a Hershey's, the little mini Hershey bars, I would let them sit in my Halloween basket I would let them sit there for like all year. I would stuff my Halloween basket, my trick-or-treat basket or bag or whatever you want to call it. I would shove it under my bed and I just doled it out. My parents could trust me to do that because I wasn't a big candy head, So I would just dole it out, get, a couple pieces, take with me to school or whatever, and it would last me for several months. But then we'd get down to like, I was never a fan of Nestle Crunch bars or the Hershey bars or...
I don't mind the Crunch bars, but yeah, the Hershey bars can... get out of here.
Yeah, I'd leave those peanut butter taffies in there. I like them okay, but I would definitely prefer to eat all the other stuff first. I would leave them in there until they were rock hard, and you just had to throw them away because you'd break a tooth trying to eat them.
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers and other hard candies like that. The Dots, the Milk Duds. There were a lot of candies that I was just like, yeah, Mom, you can have these.
Get out of here. Yeah.
But anyway, I think we touched on a lot of topics that we're going to talk about on Thursday when we just talk about Halloween in general, the differences between the Halloween celebrations in the UK and America, and our memories of Halloween and whatever. So we'll talk about that stuff on Thursday, so be sure you listen then. And I think that we still have one more bonus entry for you guys to do into the British Snacks giveaway, which ends on midnight on Thursday.
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. So if you haven't entered, you should go ahead and do that. And then go back and listen to all the podcasts, because we've been giving you guys little bonus entries. Ways to get bonus entries anyway. But anyway, today's bonus entry is...
leave us a review, rating, or recommendation on our Facebook page.
Yeah. So that's on the actual page, not the group.
Yeah, so T Butty is the page, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll just search for T and a Buddy and you'll see us.
Yeah.
So just leave us a review or a rating or a recommendation.
Well,
I think it's a review. I think it's a review they call it. But yeah, just leave it.
They used to call it one thing, and then they changed it, and it's now called something else or whatever. But yeah, we need you guys to do reviews and ratings.
So we know that we're doing a good job or we're doing a bad job. Just let us know, and either way, so we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's the way to get the bonus entry. If you guys want to support our podcasts and help us continue doing this, we also appreciate you to like, share with your friends.
Subscribe.
Leave
us a comment on YouTube, because we're just getting into YouTube right now.
I mean, we have one video on there. So.
One video? Yes, we do. We're getting there. Thousands of subscribers.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, do all those things, and we appreciate it a lot. And thank you for listening, as always.
Thanks for listening.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye now.
Bye.